pulling power with ixm.co.uk, where cars go faster.
Do you know what I really hate about Christmas?
Go on.
Queen's speech?
Sugar dons.
Flat batteries.
Yeah, I hate all of that, but one thing that really gets my goat are those reviews of the year.
Oh, yeah. Let's have another look at the best of.
Shameful. I mean, smacks of desperation, lack of originality.
We'd never do anything as tacky as that, would we?
Oh, please, perish the thought.
But it is the end of the year.
And we do have a show to fill, don't we?
And it needn't be the best of the year.
I'm beginning to like the way this girl thinks.
But this is one award that nobody will want to win.
Welcome to Pulling Power's Christmas Turkeys.
Our pick of the cars you should make a New Year's resolution not to buy.
As well as picking over the bones of a few duds, we'll be featuring something a bit special. A motor recently nominated European Car of the Year, the Alfa 147.
But first, this huge beast of a car, the motoring equivalent of Godzilla. This car could jump its way across the continent. So how has this formidable machine made it into our sin bin? Well, first of all, let's run through the good points. For a start, it gives us girls the feeling of invulnerability. If Mondeo Man even attempted to cut us up, we'd crush him. And it's an easy car to drive as well. You've got a sweet self-shifting gearbox, the lightest of power steering, and a soothing cabin, which costs you in supreme luxury. So you're thinking that this vehicle must lose its value faster than a .com.
Well, you'd be wrong. This 41.5 grand car is no worse than other large 4x4s. No, this car's dark secret is the 405 grams of CO2 it belches out over the average kilometre.
This vehicle really is a dirty old man. And just in case you don't care about the Amazon, the rainforest that is, this Amazon could still cost you the earth. Changes to company car legislation this coming year will penalise drivers of heavy polluters, which means that this dinosaur may go into extinction. Which is a shame really, because I rather liked it.
Land Rover Discovery, fine car, built in Solihull, now under Ford's ownership, of course, Land Rover. But it's on our hit list, this one. Come with me for a ride and I'll tell you why. Now, this is the 4-litre gas-guzzling V8 version of the Disco, and this is a car that will do 17 miles per gallon. It has to be said, this is not the thirstiest car on the road, but it's the thirstiest, if you like, normal car. A lot of people drive these, and, you know, if you were to do a round trip from, say, London to Penzance, you'd be putting £130 worth of unleaded petrol in this car to do the journey. Well, you know, that's daft. What you need if you've got a car like this is an LPG conversion. Costs you about £1,000. You'll be able to run this stuff on fuel that costs, what, 40p a litre? And in fact, so convinced are we of the future of LPG that we're running our own car on the Pulling Power fleet, and at the end of the series, we'll be giving it away to a lucky viewer. Just check out the website for more details.
For our next award, we're heading into London, where we asked the people who work on the roads for a living to nominate the vehicle with the worst drivers.
I will say Mercedes.
And BMW.
Because they think they're so protected, they smash into everyone.
Mercedes. Mercedes. The big ones, especially them chauffeur-driven ones.
The white van drivers.
Why?
We all know that, don't we? They're all they just, I don't know, they just barge around the place, always in a hurry.
BMWs.
BMWs.
Black cab drivers.
The bus drivers and white van drivers, because they are a disgrace.
Black cabs.
Bus drivers, they just pull out, no indicators.
Doing U-turns in the road with no signals, cutting you up, cutting in and out, trying to duck and dive.
Boy, they indicate and then just pull out, they don't even look.
Motorbikes, taxi drivers, they're the worst.
And white van drivers, well, I don't know where they get their licences from, to be honest.
Black cabs, mini cabs, anything like that. They do U-turns in front of us, especially us. They see a fare, they pull over to the left or pull over to the right without indicating. What chance have we got?
You don't ever touch my cab, prick, do you hear me?
But while cabs, cycles, white vans, buses and dispatch riders slug it out for supremacy of London's roads, there's one vehicle whose drivers come in for universal condemnation.
Which make of cars the worst drivers? Volvos.
Volvo drivers. It has to be Volvo drivers. I just think they're immortal.
I'm in a tank. It doesn't matter if we crash and burn and explode. I'll be the one who walks away from this.
Yes, not only do they drive the safest car on the road, but they've also given their name to a medical condition, VDS, or Volvo Drivers Syndrome. So as a result of our highly scientific research, a special Christmas Turkey Award goes not to the car, but to the drivers.
This car must be going for the overall accolade of the worst turkey of all. This is a Nissan Serena 2.3 diesel. It's been in production for a very long time, but that doesn't forgive it at all. Nissan makes some great cars. The Skyline's one of the best cars I've ever driven. This is certainly not one of them. Let's take a quick look at the spare tyre. Looks like someone's nicked the engine, which probably explains why it's so slow. The engine itself, in the finest tradition of all great sports cars, is in the middle, right here, underneath the front seats, leading to a rather uncomfortable ride and a rather strange layout. The seats are a big problem throughout this vehicle. These seats generally are very, very uncomfortable, and you wouldn't want to be sitting in the middle here with no headrest. Although I do like the fact it's got these sliding doors on both sides. But listen to this. How tinny is that, eh? It's like a Jamaican steel band. And would you really want to be sitting here in the back row with your head just 6 inches away from the rear door if you got tailgated on the motorway? I don't think so. It would be good night Vienna, or should I say sayonara Serena. Come on there, Bessie. You don't expect this to be a performance vehicle, and let me tell you, it really isn't. 0 to 60 in 23 seconds. Now, the petrol engine version does it in about 11, which is pretty respectable for a car of its class, but it's frankly unacceptable to have a car that is so sluggish and so slow. I simply don't understand why they still build cars like this today. Now, another thing which doesn't really work is the price. It's £16,000 for this car. But frankly, you'd be far better off looking at something like the Kia Sedona or possibly even the Hyundai Tri-Jet. There is one bright spot on the horizon, of course. Renault have now taken over Nissan, so that means sooner or later we should start getting some decent designs coming out, and I'm sure they'll take this one, roll it up into a ball, put it in the bin and start all over again. After all, Renault were the people who invented the people carrier. Now, don't get me wrong, I hate to be critical. I'm one of those people for whom the glass is always half full, not half empty. But I can't find anything nice to say about this car. It runs out of revs, it runs out of torque, it runs out of gears, it runs out of steam, it runs out of life, and I lose the will to live when I'm driving it. It's hideous. In fact, I've had enough of it. I can't stand it anymore. I'm getting out. If you need me, I'll be in my trailer.
Well, from the slowest cars to some of the worst depreciators, cars that plummet in value when you've owned them for about a year. Nice car, Fiat Marea. Trouble is, you could pay about £16,000 for a car like this and find that it's worth less than £8,000 12 months later. Same goes for this. The four-door saloon version of this Vauxhall Vectra LS would have retailed at around £16,000. 12 months later, trade value less than 8 grand. This, well, now you're talking. Citroën XM, top of the range version, best part of 30 grand when you buy it new, worth less than £10,000 trade value after just 12 months. I mean, clearly, anybody who invested in any of these cars at those sort of retail prices made a big mistake. But what's the old saying? One man's loss is another man's gain. Well, that couldn't be more true than with these cars. You know, if you're looking for a nearly new, cheap motor, well, you couldn't do better than these.
We've looked at polluters, we've looked at gas guzzlers, but can you go wrong with a small car? Well, meet the new, updated Fiat Seicento. Seems like the perfect urban runabout. It's functional, stylish and economic. Under normal driving conditions, it'll give you about 47 miles per gallon. The new 1.1-litre engine accelerates well, and it's certainly nippy when you put your foot down. It's very manoeuvrable in traffic and also into parking spaces. It's a real doddle. The car is actually made in Poland, but there is some very nice, what I would call, Italian detailing inside. For example, I love these buttons, so much nicer than tacky switches. Now, Fiat say it's a 5-seater. Well, I suppose by the letter of the law it may be. But not only would it be excruciating for the middle passenger, but also unsafe with only a lap belt. It's reasonably priced at $6,525, although by no means the cheapest in its class. But it's stylish, economic, and a really good city runabout. So what haven't we covered? Ah, yes, safety. And that's where the problem lies, because earlier this year, the European NCAP crash test results came out on Super Minis, and this car came in ignominious bottom of the class. 4 out of the 14 Super Minis they tested got 4 stars. The Seicento got 1 and a bit stars. It didn't even get 2. Apparently because in the side impact test, the abdomen was at a high risk of life-threatening injury. The passenger compartment effectively collapsed, the driver slipped forward, and the passenger's head made contact with the centre console. NCAP tested on an overseas model which didn't have a driver's airbag. Now, all Seicentos sold in this country have a driver's airbag as standard, but that would have no impact on the collapse of the passenger compartment. It seems to me you shouldn't have to compromise between economy and safety. So if you are thinking of buying a Super Mini, it's worth having a good long look at the Euro NCAP crash test results. After the break, a special award for the company with the most disorganised pricing policy, the manufacturer with the silliest idea, plus the antidote to all that turkey, the European Car of the Year.
Nice car. The humble Volkswagen Golf. What do you reckon? 11, 12 grand's worth? Admittedly, this is the 4Motion V6 version with all-wheel drive and over 200 horsepower. Also has an alleged top speed of about 150 miles an hour. Well, when Volkswagen put this version on sale earlier this year, they put a price tag on it of, wait for it, £22,000 for a Volkswagen Golf. And even after all those legendary price cuts of summer 2000, Volkswagen still refused to reduce the price. Eventually, come December 1, VW decided they couldn't get away with it any longer, dropped the price to just below 20,000. But is it worth 20 grand? You've got to be joking. If I was writing out a cheque for 20 grand with a Volkswagen dealer, I'd expect 2 Golfs, not 1.
Imagine living somewhere where every summer all your local roads become jammed solid with tourists. Well, that is precisely what motorists in the West Country have to put up with. So for our next award, we thought it would be fun to ask them which vehicles they'd most like to be banned from their roads.
Caravans. Caravanners, part-time caravanners, cause a huge hazard on the road.
Caravans, I think we'd have to, we'd probably vote for that one, don't you think?
Bigger lorries.
Oh, heavy goods vehicles.
Farm vehicles. Lorries.
The lorries.
Robin Reliant, definitely.
Nissan Micra.
Mini.
Metros. Hate metros with a passion.
Because full of old people.
Older people used to drive metros and they drive so slowly and just like, come on, please. OK, indicate now.
But while one half of the West Country wants to get a move on, there are plenty of others who want to slow it all down.
I'd ban the fastest. The Mercs and the others. Yes, I would.
GTIs. 7 Series BMW.
Why?
Because I haven't got one.
All Mercs have terrible drivers. Yeah.
Salesman-type vehicles, I would say, so we're probably looking at the Vauxhalls.
Astra. Volkswagen Astra.
Sports cars.
Boy racers.
Sports cars, I suppose.
Sports cars like XR3Is, things like that.
So by a narrow margin, our second People's Turkey Award goes to fast cars. It's just a shame to waste all those great scenic drives.
Imagine a turkey designed by a committee. It'd probably have 5 legs, 2 breasts and no feathers. Now, does that sound like a good idea? No. Now, imagine a city runabout designed by a committee. Well, if you tried it, you'd probably end up with one of these, a BMW C1.
The question BMW asked was a fair one. Why do commuters sit in traffic jams all day when they could complete their journey much better on a scooter?
Well, the answer to that is they don't like getting wet, they don't feel safe on a bike, and also they don't want to ruin their hairdos by wearing a crash helmet.
So BMW gave the C1 a windscreen with little windscreen wipers, a lovely roof and seat belts. In fact, they're so cocky about safety, in many European countries, you don't even need to wear a crash helmet.
So if it was such a good idea, why is it such a turkey?
First thing you notice about this C1 BMW is its weight. Over 180 kilos puts it in the same class as some superbikes. It's got nothing like the power, just 15 brake horsepower. The engine does the best job it can to scoot it along, but it's the weight you really feel, and particularly the weight up high. And the first time I got on this thing, I thought, whoa, it's going to fall over, it's going to topple over. And in fact, when Gail tried it, it did topple over on top of her. I really want to like this bike. I really want to feel that it's a step forward, it's a glance into the future, but I'm sorry, I just don't feel safe on it. And although I'm getting more comfortable as time goes on, fundamentally, this high weight and these tiny wheels, which as soon as you go over anything feel very wobbly, contribute to a feeling of insecurity.
The killer blow for this brave design, though, is the price. £4,000 is virtually double what you pay for a conventional 125 scooter.
So what is the future for this particular turkey? Well, in its current form, it's just too top-heavy, too cumbersome and too expensive to be the hit that BMW were hoping for.
Which is a shame because its heart was in the right place. But personally, I hate the thing because I fell off it. So if I fall off something, it's over, it's finished, never getting on it again, don't like it.
Let's leave those blots on the motoring landscape and concentrate on a car that's well on the road to success. The Alfa 147 has been nominated as European Car of the Year, and we couldn't wait to find out just how good it is. So we sent James off to Monte Carlo to put the car through its paces on the world's most famous Formula One circuit.
The boys watch the girls while the girls watch the boys who watch the girls go by.
I don't believe this. We've come to take an exclusive look at the new Alfa Romeo 147 at one of the world's most exclusive places, Monaco, and it's raining. I mean, you'd need to be Michael Schumacher to get around the Grand Prix circuit on a day like this. Still, let's give it a go. During the 60s and 70s, the Brits dominated the Grand Prix here, with Graham Hill, Jackie Stewart and Sterling Moss bringing home the top honours.
It's the start of the race of 1,000 corners, the Monte Carlo Grand Prix, 200 miles of twisting streets and sudden hills.
Since racing began here in 1929, average lap speeds have shot up from 84 kilometres an hour to around 148 kilometres an hour. Sadly for us, the rain-soaked, traffic-clogged streets of midwinter would keep us to more modest speeds. This car's yet more evidence that the Fiat family are really getting their act together. Ferrari are flying, Maserati are back on the map, and Alfa Romeo are really getting aggressive in this marketplace for prestige hatchbacks. And if you think about it, it's up against the Audi A3, the Golf GTI, both terrific cars in the sector. If it's going to succeed, it's got to knock them off their perch. Prices should help. At less than 13 grand for the 1.6 manual version, this car will undercut the cheapest A3 by around £2,000. Let's take a bit of a closer look at what Alfa Romeo are trying to do with this car, shall we? Well, the first thing you look at, of course, is the front. Now look at this, a beautiful big Alfa Romeo badge and the V-shaped grille, very much reminiscent of the cars of the 1920s, the really stylish Alfas, and also the cars of the 1960s as well. And there are 1960s echoes in the way that this front comes down in a bulbous sort of way, rounded. You see that? It's a beautiful shape. I like the way they've mixed it with the modernity of these V-shapes here and the shut lines of the bonnet. What you've got is a mixture of retro and modern, and it works really, really well. What isn't so good is the space for the number plate. It looks great with an Italian plate, but the bigger English plates, difficult to see that. The light's nice and aggressive. I love the way they wrap around into the side of the car, which takes us down here. Come and take a look at this. Look how much metal there is in comparison to the glass. I guess the emphasis is very much on safety, on protection. It's also quite sporty. I love the shape of these wing mirrors, really nice. And also the feel of the door handles is very reassuring as well. And these rear lights, very stylish, very aggressive again, very Alfa Romeo, a terrific styling job. The inside's pretty stylish as well. This is much better than the normal plasticky stuff you get in these kind of cars. I like this central console for the air, it distributes it very well. And then this bit here is quite nice, sort of grey plastic, good CD player, the obligatory cup holder, of course, which I like to see in every car. And here's the kind of special thing about the 7-speed, this gear change here. You can do it manually, go forwards, up the gears, and backwards, down the gears. Neutral is that, and that's reverse. But if you want to, and here's the magic bit, you can use the paddles on the back here, Formula 1 style. Flick them up to go up a gear, flick them down to go down. Controls on the steering wheel are very good as well. You can have the radio frequency changed, volume control here, and what's really good, if the mobile goes and you need to answer the call, you just hit the mute button there. Nice touch instead of fiddling in the middle of the car. So the 147 stands out from the crowd on looks, but most Alfa buyers are looking for a spirited drive. Performance from this 2-litre doesn't disappoint, but I do have some niggles. It's a tricky car to manoeuvre, particularly things like 3-point turns or in and out of gateways, for several reasons. The Sally-speed gearbox doesn't really lend itself to forwards and backwards changes. The other reason it's difficult to manoeuvre is because it's extremely hard to see anything at all out of that small V-shaped window, so that's a downside. On the plus side, it does have a lot of get up and go. The engine's very punchy, it pulls very, very well. It's got all sorts of fantastic gizmos on it, obviously the gear change being the main one of them. There's all sorts of little tricks and games you can play. There's the city button. In this car, city button operates a fully automatic gear change system. If you don't want that, you can actually operate it yourself using the paddles, and that works on the whole pretty well, although the upshifts are very soggy. They're about as crisp as a 3-week-old lettuce, in fact, on the upshift, but the downshifts are nice and sweet, and it actually gives a little blip of the throttle when it shifts down a gear, which I quite like. If you want a really crisp upshift, you have to use the traditional lever. If you want something a bit different, something perhaps not so Germanic, a little bit more Italian flair and passion and styling, and of course not to forget that technology that's come down from the Ferrari Formula 1 team, then why not indulge in one of these? Well, I have to say I've enjoyed driving the Alfa 147. This gearbox is a bit of a gimmick, but it's quite fun, something different. But as for me, I can't believe it's rained so much in Monaco. I'm going back to the UK where it's nice and sunny.
There was enough turkeys there to get anyone reaching for the indigestion tablets.
Yeah, but didn't you notice how none of them turned up to pick up their awards?
Sure, actually, we should toast them in their absence, shouldn't we? To the pulling power turkeys, the sooner they're stuffed and rolled, the better.
I said she's not old enough to drink. We've got to arrive about there.
Well, you were coming like that.
And Pulling Power is back again next Tuesday evening, the 2nd of January, at the same time, 10:30.
Pulling Power with ixm.co.uk, where cars go faster.